2, honor your hunger. Eat when you experience hunger signals. What is intuitive eating? Intuitive eating is a way of eating that does not involve traditional dieting. It helps you break the cycle of chronic dieting and healing your relationship with food by becoming more attuned with your body's natural signals. It allows you to relearn your intuition with what your body is telling you it needs. It helps you with things like listening to your body's natural hunger and fullness cues so that you can learn to eat for what your body needs versus what a diet is telling you to eat. This approach can help you put an end to chronic dieting and is no longer associating food with rigidity, guilt, and not labeling foods as good and bad. With intuitive eating, you don't count calories or macros, you don't have to weigh your food. You don't cut out food groups either. You simply eat when you're hungry and until you're satisfied. You give your body nourishment when it needs it, and you don't have to worry about specific amounts or measurements. While intuitive eating takes practice, it's a great approach for healing your relationship with food and becoming more attuned with what your body needs. This is such an important concept because people tend to always be looking for the next best diet. They want quick results and they want something that will actually work for them. After years of dieting and a graveyard of diets behind them, people tend to not only become fed up, but in a worse place than when they started, not just physically, but mentally as well. Intuitive eating focuses on behavior change and healing your relationship with food, which is a game changer for people because they focus on first honoring their bodies. When they do this, they actually achieve more body satisfaction, which then eventually allows them to make mindful food choices without judgment, restriction, or any sort of dieting mentality. Basically, it creates freedom. Eating intuitively is something we are born knowing how to do. Like babies cry when they're hungry and stop when they're satisfied. Kids will vary the amounts of food that they're eating day to day without thinking twice. We learn dieting habits, which causes us to lose trust with our bodies. In 1995, 2 registered dietitians put language and principles around intuitive eating to help people learn this process. There are now over 100 research studies on intuitive eating, and they've been shown to improve things like better body image, higher self-esteem, lower rates of emotional eating, lower rates of disordered eating, better and proactive coping skills, more life satisfaction, lower BMIs, and a lot more. There are 10 principles of intuitive eating. Those principles are: 1, reject the dieting mentality. Get rid of any prior dieting knowledge or behaviors. 2, honor your hunger. Eat when you experience hunger signals. When you feel hunger, your body is trying to tell you something. 3, make peace with food. Food does not assign moral value. Food is not good, bad, clean, or dirty. Get rid of this language can make a huge and positive mental impact. 4, challenge the food police. The food police is that voice inside your head that monitors unreasonable food rules. Maybe it's a quiet hum in the back of your mind about how you shouldn't have eaten that. Guilt. Maybe it's a loud scream that causes you intense stress and anxiety about everything you eat. Fear. Challenging the food police allows you to redirect your thoughts into truths about that situation. 5, feel your fullness. Instead of feeling like you need to eat because it's mealtime, finishing all the food on your plate because it's there, or mindlessly eating in front of the TV, this principle focuses on experiencing when you're starting to feel full and your hunger is satiated. 6, discover the satisfaction factor. Are you full but not fully satisfied? Are you hungry and really want to eat a certain food? Sometimes people try to avoid the thing that they're actually craving and fill it with other types of foods that they perceive to be healthier. Then, in an attempt to satisfy that craving with other foods, they can actually end up consuming more than if they had just eaten the food they were craving. Learning the satisfaction factor will allow you to feel more content, often with less food. 7, cope with your emotions outside of food. Many people eat outside of feeling hungry to cope with emotions. Developing several coping skills for emotions can be really helpful in improving your relationship with food. 8, respect your body. We are all structured differently, and understanding and respecting your body can relieve pressure, stress, and frustration. I'm never gonna be petite, 5'1", and super curvy. That's just not gonna happen. I'm going to be a tall, strong, and best version of me. Acknowledge and respect what you're working with allows you to become the healthiest version of you. 9, exercise. Feel the difference. Instead of focusing on what you feel like you should be doing, focusing on calories burned or the amount of time spent working out, learn what types of workouts and movements help you to feel good, strong, and energized. 10, honor your health with gentle nutrition. Evaluate how certain foods make you feel combined with honoring your preferences and what tastes good to you. Nutrition isn't all or nothing. It's an ongoing ebb and flow, and when you fully embrace the elements of intuitive eating to improve your relationship with food, you can start learning how to be mindful about eating. There's so much more that we can dive into about each of these principles, but this is a starting point to open up the concept of intuitive eating. People often want to incorporate these principles of intuitive eating, but also wonder about how to make healthy food choices. Intuitive eating is a weight-neutral model that allows you to improve your relationship with food in your body. The amazing thing is, when you do that, in turn, you're happier and can also learn mindfulness. Intuitive eating and mindful eating are sometimes used interchangeably, but there are actually a few slight differences. The Center for Mindful Eating defines mindful eating as using all of your senses in choosing to eat food that is both satisfying to you and nourishing to your body, and becoming fully aware of physical hunger and satiety cues to guide your decisions to begin and end eating. Essentially, you can be mindful about your food choices that will be nourishing to your body without having dieting rules or dieting mentality present. You can be informed about food and how different nutrients fuel your body, but you don't have to live in perpetual fear and anxiety about food. It's not wrong to want to make healthy and make mindful choices. The difference is that there are really two phases when you're trying to heal your relationship with food. First is working on that healing through intuitive eating. That can allow you to be mindful about food that nourishes your body without dieting mentality. Learning to eat intuitively and mindfully can coexist, but it's important to have a great relationship with food in order to be a happy, healthy human for life. An important thing in all of this is how to give yourself grace. When you're learning to eat intuitively and mindfully, keep the mindset that you are honoring your body, honoring your hunger cues, honoring your strength and endurance, and honoring your mind. It takes practice, but it is worth it. I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you learned from this video, what you found helpful, and what you'd like to learn more about. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, check it out here, click subscribe, and you can make sure you don't miss any of the videos. And also make sure to check out my last video right here. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.